A common question I get when someone comes in and says their spouse is cheating is, should I tell their parents? It brings them to a level of, am I tattling? Am I involving their parents to maybe their parents have influence over them, they'll change their mind. It's a very sticky situation. In some instances, it's extremely helpful, and it is the very thing you should do, but with other people, it can cause a great schism in the family, and you can actually end up feeling like you did something that was the ultimate straw to ruin the relationship, and not only the relationship with your partner, but the relationship your partner had with their parents and your relationship with the in-laws, which is something most people wouldn't do, and I wouldn't recommend it. So let's talk about what you need to really hash out with yourself before you ever go to your spouse's parents in the event they cheated. So the first thing is, what do you think it will do on the relationship? If they have a good relationship with their parents and they've always been close, that might be a helpful thing. But if it wasn't, if it was always a very drawn, a very strained relationship, and your spouse has even told you that at many times they would scold you or they neglected him or did things like that, then I think it's really important that you take that into consideration, what you're doing and what could be the possible outcome. Secondly, is there a respect violation? Like if you tell your spouse's parents that your spouse cheated their child, are you violating some code of privacy, some code that is going to eventually, corrupt your confidentiality? In other words, many times when couples are married, they tell their spouse different things their parents did that hurt them or that made them feel bad. And they also told you things they did that were wrong and their parents maybe never found out. They were being open with you. They were being vulnerable, and they expect you to keep those things confidential. If you tell your spouse's parents that they're cheating, will you violate that code? Will they ever trust you again? If you're able to work this through, you have to answer that before you would go to your spouse's parents. Is it a respect issue? Are you still respecting their privacy and the way their family works? Every family has its own family dynamics. And if your spouse's parents had your spouse listed as the black sheep, this could make it really bad for your spouse. And if it's bad for your spouse, that means even if you're able to work out the relationship between the two of you, basically it may influence your relationship with your spouse's family for the rest of the marriage, which is hopefully a very long time. So once again, consider this. Don't go into this blindly or just thinking, I just need them to know, that this happened so they can talk sense into them. That may happen, but it may not. And also, what are your intentions? If your intentions are, I want to give this marriage every chance possible, and all these other things, I think we have a good working relationship, then I say go for it. But if you're not that, if you know some of the drama, then going to the parents may be a really big problem. And you know your own family dynamics, but you did not grow up with your partner. So if they told you hurtful things or things that were embarrassing or things that made them shut down, and now you're going to tell their parents another thing they did that may activate that, I think I would be very careful treading forward on that. And also, it will affect the communication of your partner. May improve it, but there's no guarantees with that. So once again, I'd be very careful. What I would do personally, I would talk to a therapist, just like I'm telling you now. The therapist will know what to ask you, and the answers to those questions, like in regards to family dynamics, the therapist can actually help you decide what to do. So before I ever went to my spouse's parents, I would get an appointment for myself, if I were the cheated on partner, with a therapist one-on-one, and ask them what they would consider doing. And I can promise you, it won't be the first thing they say to go do. It will probably be sit down, talk to your partner, get everything out on the table, the intentions for the marriage, the intentions for everything that happened, how they want to work through it. If they're willing, if you ask them, you know what, I'm thinking about talking to your parents, what do you think? And they say, yeah, I think they would be able to help us with the kids so we can go to therapy together. Those are answers that are actually making me believe this spouse is very, very sad about their transgression, and they want to try and make it work. In that case, I would for sure, the two of you, talk to your spouse's parents about what happened, especially if you think they can help hold your marriage, support it during a fragile time without being harsh on their child or on you in the future. If they're going to be great parents, great grandparents, and be a supportive mechanism, emotional and physical, then I would say for sure I would tell them. I hope this video is helpful for you, and if it is, please subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.